The Indian stock market is expecting more uncertainty ahead after a first half. They saw a bull run, a sell-off and a revival. U.S. tariffs and Middle East tensions are expected to weigh on growth and oil prices. There is some optimism that equities could still hit new highs by year-end. Ishan Garg reports from Mumbai.
Retail investors looking for green shoots. Many of them bullish on India's growth story.
भरोसा इसकी स्टेबिलिटी और जो भी आरबीआई हमारे जो भी रेगुलेशन है सेबी के रेगुलेशन वो इतने स्ट्रिक्ट और इतने परफेक्ट हैं कि इंडियन मार्केट स्टेबल रहता है हमेशा कोई प्रॉब्लमेटिक मतलब वर्ल्ड मार्केट बहुत ज़्यादा डाउन हो जाएगा बट इंडियन मार्केट स्टेबल रहेगा.
But Vishal Vaishnav's colleague Vinod Kumar Gotwal does not share the same optimism.
2 से 3 लाख रुपए का नुकसान हो गया है क्योंकि 5 लाख रुपए के परचेज किए थे तो मुझे नहीं लगता कि डाउनग्रेड आने के बाद परचेज करना चाहिए. मार्केट को स्टेबल होने का वेट करना चाहिए.
India's benchmark index Nifty 50, the aggregate of India's 50 biggest companies, is now climbing back up after sliding down from its all-time high in September last year. The sell-off erased billions of dollars in gains and hurt smaller investors. Analysts attribute part of this to money being moved out of Indian stocks into US Treasury bonds and emerging equity markets in China and Indonesia.
It's been quite a roller coaster ride here at Dalal Street with dips and diverging interests. Foreign players sold off nearly $13 billion worth of Indian stocks in the first quarter of this year. But domestic players invested nearly $22 billion. And then came a big comeback by May, with Indian equities posting a strong 16% return, outperforming both emerging markets as well as global markets.
It's a sign of strength in a time of uncertainty, but the road ahead is still bumpy. Trade tensions over US tariffs and turmoil in the Middle East still pose risks to India's growth.
If you're looking at purely oil, you're looking at about 0.5% of GDP slowdown. If you're looking at allied sectors, you're having manufacturing, auto ancillaries, airfare that will have an increase in case there is an escalation.
The country's massive consumer market, recent investments in infrastructure and the manufacturing sector's pivot away from China to India is fueling some optimism. Equity analysts believe Indian stocks could hit new highs by the end of the year, though there might be some volatility in the short run, according to a recent Reuters poll. Meaning foreign institutional investors or FIIs who only hold about 17% of Indian equities as of March this year might once again see India as a solid bet.
FIIs are of course not going to just see these smaller parts of volatility. They're going to see how your India growth story is, which is contributed not only by earnings but also broadly in terms of what exactly are the main drivers that the Indian markets are going to have.
A key driver could be more rate cuts by India's central bank. It has already reduced lending rates by 0.5% this year and could lower them further. The hope is that this could spur more spending and in turn more investing from both foreign and domestic market players. Ishan Garg, CNA, Mumbai.